Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. In this video I'm going to show you guys how to crochet this neck warmer. I know the weather is starting to get colder, and if you're making this in the summer, hey, just means you're getting ready for the cold season. But this is pretty much what we're going to be working on. It's a nice neck warmer. I chose to do these two colors here just because I wanted to do something a little bit nice and stylish. You can wear it with either this color or that color, or any colors that matches these colors. But this is pretty much how it looks. I got these cute buttons on Amazon, the owls, and they look so nice, and they're wood, so which is really good. And these are handmade as well, which is supporting other small businesses. But anyway, so this is pretty much what we're going to be working on. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my lovelies, so before we go ahead and get started with this project, I'm going to show you all the materials that we're using for that. And as you can see here, I have my two colors of, I'm just gonna call these like grayish, like light gray, and this one is purple because I don't have the labels for them anymore. And I cannot tell you exactly what the colors are actually called. In terms of the weight size, it is medium weight number 4 for both of these, and they're both 100% acrylic. And recommended hook size for both of these is 5mm crochet hook or H8 US. So that is also what we're using today. I'm gonna need 3 buttons. Big size buttons will be good for this pattern because it's a chunky pattern. And you're gonna need your scissors as well as a darning needle. And in terms of a darning needle, I have one here that is small enough to go through the buttonholes here, because often if you have something, let's say like this is usually the one that I use a lot to weave in any ends and things like that. And this is too big, so if I do go through like this, as you can see, the tail of this is too big, it's not gonna go through. So always make sure you have a darning needle that is small enough to go through even the smallest buttonholes. Okay, so that is what I have here. All right, and we have our scissors to cut our strands at the end as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and put everything away and let's get started. All right, my lovelies, so for this neck warmer, we're going to start by doing the length of the actual neck warmer, which is the long side, and we're going to work the width of it. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing a slip knot here. So this is how I do my slip knot. And then I'm going to start by doing 101 chains. Okay, so this is where you're gonna determine the size of this neck warmer that I'm making is kind of small. So if you're looking to make it bigger, then you need to do chains that are a little bit longer, and so on and so forth. Okay, all right, so we're going to start our 101 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, my lovelies, so this is my chain of 101 here. So this is going to be the size of the neck warmer, the length of it. Okay, now that I have my chain of 101, I'm going to start by doing the first row of this project. I'm going to skip that one first stitch, and in the second one I'm going to go in the back of the chain and do a half double crochet. And then I'm going to follow by doing a half double crochet in every single stitch all the way until the end. And keep in mind, I'm going through the back of the foundation chain, so just grabbing these back lumps here. And yeah, so go ahead and do that until you get to the end. And by the time that you get to the end, you should have 100 stitches all together. And I will show you guys how to start row 2 when you get to the end. See you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed the first row of the neck warmer here, and this is the first repeat row, and then we're gonna have one more and then 2, 3. So this project is a 3-row repeat. Okay, so this half double crochet is your first. Okay, all right, so for the second row we're going to do a chain of 2 and then turn, and then we're going to work double crochets in the back loop. So we're just going to yarn over, go pick the back loop of the stitches. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through the remaining 2, and that is the very first stitch right after your chain 2. And then you're going to move on to the next and grab the back loop, and you're going to do this on the second stitch, third stitch, and again you're going to do this all the way to the end. And for your very final stitch at the end of this row, you're going to go through both loops as opposed to just the back loop to do your double crochet. Okay, so again, work your double crochets. So this is what it should look like. Okay, so you can see these half double crochet stitches are shorter than these double crochet stitches. Yeah, so go ahead and work these stitches all the way to the end. When you have reached the other end, come back and I'll show you how to do the third row, which is the third repeat row. And then from that point on, we pretty much repeat what we just did here again and again until we have the size that we're looking for. Okay, so I'll meet you guys at the end when you've completed this row. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed this row of the double crochet in the back loop of our half double crochet that we did previously. And as you can see, this is pretty much how this row looks like. And now we're going to do our third row, which is going to be the third repeat row. And so we're going to do a chain of 2. So 1, 2, and turn. And in the very first stitch right here, right after our chain 2, we're going to, just want to make sure I did chain 2. So we're going to go ahead and do a double crochet right going through both loops there, and we're going to do a double crochet there like that. Okay, and then now we're going to do a front post double crochet right on this stitch here. So this is the second stitch, this is the first, this is the second. We're going to do a front post, and the front post you pretty much yarn over and then go around that double crochet from the previous row, yarn over, bring it back. You have your 3 loops on the hook, and make sure you pull and make sure they're nice and not like left like this, because it's going to crunch up your work. So make sure you elongate it so that it matches everything else. And then you're going to yarn over, go through 2 loops, and then yarn over, go through the remaining 2 loops. So that is a front post double crochet. And then for the next stitch, you're going to do a back post double crochet. So again, you yarn over, you go through the back. So this is the stitch right here. You go through the back, grab that back stitch like this, and do your double crochet. So you do the same thing you just did in the front, but in the back. You yarn over, go into this next, do front post double crochet like that. And then in this next stitch, you're gonna go in the back and do a back loop, a back post double crochet. And then you're going to grab this one here and do a front post double crochet. So again, this is a repeat of what you're gonna be doing for the rest of this row. So you're just going to do a combination or like an alternation of front post double crochet, and then in the very next stitch you do a back post double crochet, and then you repeat that. Okay, so as you can see here, that is exactly what I'm doing. And if we look at our work, this is how your work should look like for this row. Okay, so go ahead and continue to do your back post double crochet, front post double crochet, all the way until you get to the end here. When you get to the end of this row, come back and I will show you how to start the next row, which is now going to be what we're repeating, what we started with here. We're going to start by doing the half double crochet and then double crochet and then again going to this. But for now, just finish this row, and then when you get back to the end, come back and I will show you how to start the next row and then how you can repeat the rest of the project. Okay, all right, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed this row here, which is our third row, and as you can see here, the last stitch I did is the back loop or the back post double crochet. And so what I will do is I will just go right into this stitch right here and do a double crochet. So this is how we're gonna end this side here like this. Okay, all right, so from now on we're repeating what we did from row 1 to row 3, which is to do a row of the half double crochet. So to do that, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to pretty much from the very first stitch right after the chain 1, we're going to go in there and do a half double crochet, and then just go and do half double crochets all across until you get to the other side. And remember, you're not going through the back loop only or anything like that. You're just doing a straight regular half double crochet. So it's going to look something like that. Okay, and you're going to do this all the way to this end. And so this is, like I said, it's a repeat. So I'm just going to explain to you here so you can go and work it all the way to the end. So you're going to continue to do the half double crochet stitches here all the way to here. when you get to here, the next row that we're doing is the row of the double crochets in the back loop. So you're going to finish your final stitch here, chain 2, turn your work, and then do double crochets in the back loop of your half double crochets that you did previously. And then when you finish that row of the back loop double crochet, you're going to chain 2, turn, and then do the row of the alternating between the front post double crochet and the back post double crochet. And then you repeat this. For mine, I repeat this for 9 rows, so which means I do 2 more sets after this. So this is one set of repeating. You're going to do another set of repeating, making it 6 rows, and then you do another row of repeating, which makes it 9 rows. And then I'm going to change the color, and I'm going to go to this color that I showed you guys previously. And then I'm going to do the same with this, where I pretty much start the row with the half double crochet stitches, and then I continue to repeat these rows here all the way until I get 9 more rows. But make sure you're ending that rows or those sets with half double crochet, because we started with half double crochet here. Okay, so I'm going to have the block of the purple and then a block of this grayish color. All right, so that is pretty much what you're going to be repeating to the end of the project. So go ahead and do so as I will mine. And when I have reached the end, I'll come back so we can put our buttons into the work. Okay, see you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed about 18 rows altogether. So as you can see, I did these sets here. So there's 3 sets here of the repeat rows that we're doing, and we're repeating 3 rows. And then I did the same on the other side like this. So as you can see, this is pretty much how this neck warmer looks so far. So both sides look really pretty. It's very textured and it's very chunky just because of the stitches that we're using. And now that we have that, so as you can see here, I finished the row of the half double crochet stitches. So I'm gonna end this project here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut somewhere here, not too much because we don't need too much of it. And then I'm going to do a slip stitch and pull it through, and I'm going to weave this end here, and of course the beginning as well. This is where we started our work. I'm gonna weave that in. All right, now that this part is done, actually let me go ahead and weave these guys in, and then I will come back and we can move on to the next step together, just so our work is a little bit neater. See you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have weaved in the ends, as you can see here. So we don't have any ends anymore, so we just have this long, it looks like a short scarf, but of course we know it's a neck warmer. So what we're gonna do here is, then, because you have 2 colors, if obviously you have just 1 color, this step doesn't matter. But if you have 2 colors, you will need to decide what side you want to be the closest to your neck. So the part that literally goes around your neck. So in this case here, for example, if you wanted this side to be the one that is closest to your neck, you can then start to fold your neck warmer, so that when you do join it, it does face where you want it to face. So for example, we can do it like this. And this means that this part of it here is the neck, which is how I'm going to do it. The other way, of course, because we have the 2 colors, is if you flip it like this and you do the exact same thing, then this white color or the grayish color is the one that is on the neck side for you. So this is the other way that you can do it. Okay, now in terms of where you're going to put the buttons, so if we were to do it like this, you would put the buttons here, and then you would pop the buttons through here, and this is where your buttons will line up. The other way is if you want it to face the other way. For example, if you want your buttons to be on this side, then you would do it like this, which is pretty much the same thing, but except it depends on where you want the buttons to fall on your neck, or where they should lay, either on your right side or the left side. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to, actually I just changed my mind. I'm going to have this white color be the one that is closest to my neck, just because I think this color will go with a lot of things. If I'm wearing like jackets and things like that, I think this will kind of go with a lot of things versus this color. So that is just my preference. And I'm also gonna have it go on this side like this. It just looks nicer for me, and it's going to be, this side is going to be on my right shoulder when I wear it. Okay, so with that said, then, so because I'm going to be doing it like this, we're going to line it nice and proper like that. This is how it's gonna lay nice and flat. So which means then I'm going to do my buttons on this side here. Okay, so right here at the very end is where I will put one button. Okay, so one of these guys here, I will sew one right here, and then the next one is going to be right in the middle. So I'm going to do the next one right here, so I can just kind of place them like that. And then my very final one is going to be right in this corner here. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna do it, like this. So to make sure that I have these places marked along, I'm just gonna put stitch markers so I don't lose those positions, and then I'm gonna end up not having the right places. So I'm just gonna do stitch markers there like this. And so I have one to start putting it right there. So I'm just gonna do it something like this so it faces upwards. This is an owl, by the way. Let me just zoom in. This is an owl. I think it's gonna look nice if when I put it on, it's gonna face upwards like that. So I'm gonna place it somewhere like this. And as you can see, I have already put the yarn. I chose to do this yarn, but you could have done it with the purple as well. So in this case, it's not actually gonna make a big difference, but I'm gonna do it with this color here. Actually, again, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to do the purple because I think it's gonna pop nice here, and since it's going on the white one, it's gonna pop it even more. It's gonna make the button pop even more. So let me grab some of the purple leftover yarn and then I'll come back. Okay, my lovely, so I have managed to put the yarn in the space here. This, by the way, is a really small hole, so you struggle quite a lot to put the chunky yarn in, or like the I guess large size of yarn in, but it's all good. So I'm gonna go ahead here and just line up my button like this because I want them to face upwards, and I'm gonna go right into that hole here from the bottom side, and then I'm gonna go in back to the other side and just kind of pull like this. And that's just one. You could leave it at that, but I like to do it a little bit, just like one more, make it two so that it's really nice and steady. So I'm gonna do that like that, and I think those two are enough. So I'm gonna cut this here, and then I'm going to tie this side and knot it, and then be able to cut the excess yarn out. And I'm going to do this for the two other buttons as well, and then we should be able to finish at that point. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut these guys here. So it's very fast to put these on once you have the yarn in the darning needle. So I'm gonna go ahead and do these two as well, and when I have those two done, I will come back, and then we'll be able to pretty much finish off our project. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so as you can see, I have my 3 buttons all lined up here. So I have them all sewn in, and as you can see, this one starts at the very beginning here. Okay, so now that we have our buttons, we're going to now assemble it and be able to put the buttons where they're supposed to go. So this is the part that you will need to kind of play with it a little bit here and there, like shift it around a little bit and things like that, and then it's going to come along together. So you're just going to do something like that. Okay, so let me just widen the lens here a little bit. 1 second. Okay, so I just wanted to make it so that you can see what I'm doing here on the wide screen. So I'm just going to literally take this very corner here, and I'm going to put the very first button right here. Okay, so I'm just going to squeeze this button into that stitch. The stitches are big enough and fluffy enough that they can fit through, so just like that. Okay, and then in this very, just right after we have passed this color here, there's the section where we have the gray, we're going to put one in there like that. And again, you're just gonna kind of play around with it a little bit to make sure it's gonna go in, but the stitches are big enough that it's gonna go through. So that goes in there like that. And then of course the final one will go in the very final stitch here, just like we did it on this side. We're going to find that final stitch to put this final one in there, just like that. And there goes your neck warmer. Okay, so this is pretty much it here. So your buttons lay on one side like that, and this is where your neck would go. So you put your neck through here, so this will cover you very nice, and it's gonna be very warm for the winter season. But this is definitely something you can start wearing now in the fall, since we're kind of starting to get chilly weathers. You can put these on with a nice heavy sweater on before you start pulling out the jackets, and then when the actual cold weather comes, you can then put these underneath your jacket. If you don't want to have a full scarf, this is something that you have as an option to wear, and it's very nice and classy as well. All right, well, this is pretty much the end of the project here. I just want to thank you guys for watching the video to the end and for making this quick winter project with us, or with me, in other words. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.